Bright suns and rising moons, fellow droids. Welcome to the Not the Droids podcast. I'm Danny.
And I'm Mayuri. And today we are going to be watching the episodes that include the The Princess and the Jedi, Kai's Bad Day, Visitor's Day, and The Growing Green Danger. Danny, do you know when these were aired originally?
So, episode 9, what both aired on Disney August 2nd of 2023. Episode 9 aired on Disney Junior August 11th, and episode 10 aired on Disney Junior August 18th. So, before we dive into the episode, we just want to remind everyone who we are. We are a podcast that is watching the Star Wars universe chronologically in universe, not by release date. So we're starting with the Young Jedis, or the Young
Yeah.
Jedi Adventures.
Which was set, I believe, 200 years before episode 1.
Yes. And if you want to join us on this adventure, the best way to do that is engage with us on social media, but definitely come over to the Discord. We have separate channels for each episode, so there's no spoilers. We try our best not to have spoilers in our episodes. We'll mention some things. There's like today I will mention some things that reminded me of other things, but it is not spoilers of other content within the Star Wars universe. We will spoil up to where we have gotten. So if you're new to this journey, start from the beginning and come on join, or wait until we get to your favorite show.
Yeah.
So what did you think of episode 9?
The Princess of the Jedi, I kind of loved. First of all, Princess Anaya, I think that was her name.
Yes.
Her headpiece, this whole episode, I was just like, what a sleigh. That full headpiece, it was very like cross between like a Loki helm and a Sailor Moon tiara. And
I
I
think
was
we had some
digging
like
it.
a little bit of like Amidala vibes going in.
Yeah, I think so. And I really loved that like each elastic was also gold. So I think they threw a lot of throwbacks in the look, which I really, really loved. And it was really adorable in the beginning how friggin' nervous Nash was to be transporting royalty because they're super shishi. And then she started speaking in a British accent.
Yeah. She thought that's what fancy people do. I love that. I love when kids show are like, oh, we need to be fancy people.
So let's speak in an
And did
accent. But
you
I
see
do
when she offered tea, she put her pinky up?
maybe some tea.
Um,
Um,
I want more of Anaya. I hope we see her again.
I hope we see her again, if only for her, I like just her looks. Like how she serves. I love that she knows how to fly and like repair ship, like she's a mechanic, but
Yes.
she's just like, nobody lets me do anything because I'm a princess. And I just want to fly ships. I thought that was
I,
cute. I will, sorry, call out that in the beginning of this episode, we saw a droid.
no name.
No name, no explanation for if the droid was like Anaya's droid, because it feels like it's part of the like royal
Her
family, because there's like,
entourage, yeah.
yeah, but like didn't board the plane or the ship, and it was just like no name, no nothing.
And then let her go off on her own as a princess with a bunch of kids.
I know they're, well, I think, well, the droid itself just thought they were like she was going with Nash, but
Mhm.
I like that she was like, do Jedi usually accompany royalty? And it's like, no, we're just here to help our friend. But I did love the like ominous Tabor sighting in the beginning where it was like dun dun dun,
Okay,
mischief is
so this is
afoot.
where I'm going to reference another thing in Star Wars. The laugh of Tabor, very Kylo coded.
How would you say it's Kylo coded? I thought it was, honestly. That's a good observation. I just like the
I was just like, Kyla, you here?
I feel like there were so many little references in this episode to like newer, like the movies.
Hmm.
And I wonder if that was like super intentional. So it's like maybe it is that maybe they are pulling
I
a
feel
little
like
bit of,
they throw little Easter eggs in because this is like an era that we haven't really explored, and that it's fun to throw little things going, oh wait, you have the look of like this, or like just throwing in those little like nudges just to remind us that we're in the Star Wars universe.
yeah.
Um,
Um,
have you ever seen, it's one of my favorite parts of this whole movie, um, The Legend of the Guardians?
no.
It's a cartoon. It's amazing. Pitch Black is Pitch is the boogeyman, and he's played by Jude Law. He voices him. Chris Pine is Jack Frost, and I love Jack Frost is like my favorite mythical person. Not like the tricksy type of Jack Frost, but like the cool Jack Frost.
Yeah.
Loved him since I was a kid. And there's this character in the movie when he is the Sandman and he speaks in sand. So over his head, like when he's like trying to get, there's a scene where he's trying to get their attention and it's just like question marks in sand, like emojis, like trying to be like, hey, 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 get him. And when Nubs was like trying to be like,
Oh,
Princess
like she's
over
leaving. She's leaving.
that's what I thought of because I'm like, oh, poor Nubs.
Honestly, sometimes I'm just like, it's such a disservice that Nub speaks Poobian and like somehow nobody notices him when he's like shouting.
Or that nobody else is paying attention to the princess.
Seriously. I just like you're like just sit there.
Like
You're
they know Tabor, who is a pirate, is spotted in the area, so they don't watch the
the
precious
princess.
goods that the princess or the gift that they
Not
know a
only
pirate
is
would go
he
after.
not only is he spotted in the area, but he literally called them and was like, I want this thing. Which I have to note, the first time I really loved Kai in a scene was when he's like, hey, we're done. And hung up, like turned off the which I thought was hilarious. But it's like, you know that Tibor's trying to steal this thing. So why are you just like, yeah, it's fine, it's safe? And I'm like, it was very much not safe.
It was not safe.
But yeah, I did not enjoy that after they like stole everything back, that Tabor shot or like Tabor shot them. Was that before they stole? Yes.
There's a lot of battling
Yeah,
happening.
no. Before Tabor stole it back, like he shot them. And I think
Yeah.
that's the first time in the show that Tabor has actually like tried to cause them like bodily harm.
This was probably the biggest fight scene we have really
Yes.
seen because they were like,
They were like shooting and fighting. And oh my God, also, whoever has trained Tabor, hats off to you.
wonder if we
Because
will ever meet this person.
I know the Tabor really knows how to like wield that staff.
He
Really,
does.
really. Um, but yeah, I mean, I kind of really loved this episode. The only problem I have with it is that we never found out what the gift was.
Also, we didn't get to go to the party.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we have to get back to the temple,
They're
but
so
thanks for the
responsible.
invite.
They're like, we have to get back to the temple. I'm like, y'all, it's a party. You're already
Thanks for the
gone. They
invite.
don't
Like
know what you're doing. Like,
seriously, it's like ask for forgiveness. Like you're gone. You're helping Nash,
you've done
but
enough stuff already leading up to this. An
you
hour at a
deserve it.
party, they're not gonna miss you.
Yeah, but I think I was really stuck on. I was like maybe they would show the gift being open, and I don't know if it's just like PTSD from like not like constantly reading stories where they don't open the gift and it's like what is
Mhm.
the gift? What is it? I'm also going to be thinking what is the gift? And
I
that
see. I was
she's
expecting them to open it and being something like super sentimental, like a picture of her and her dad at the zoo, like something
well,
like,
like it was something specific to Tanu, right? Like she had
yeah,
to come to Tanu to get it. So I was
yeah,
like, I don't know what it could possibly be. But it was really fun episode. I think
yes,
this is the first episode in a little bit that I've just like kind of enjoyed start to finish.
yes. And do we have our lesson for this one?
So I did not write a lesson. I was too distracted by all the sass.
That's fine. The general lesson I feel like is listening, but the quote that I did pull was people can surprise you sometimes. You think they're going to act one way, then act completely different.
Oh, because she's a princess and they thought she was going to be all she, and she
Well, and
was
then they
not.
were ignoring her and not listening to her when she knew things. So,
That's a good point. That is
so I felt like
a
that
good
was a
point.
good point of this is that like people will surprise you.
Yeah. That was a more subtle lesson, I feel like.
It was, but I kind of like those ones more because they seem to get them across better than when they're like trying to pound them into our brains.
Yeah. No, that's good. I enjoyed the next episode
It's my
far too
favorite Kai
much.
episode, and you know how I feel about Kai.
Well, I know we both are kind of like that with Kai, and that's why I was like, "Ooh, in the last episode he was sassy, and in this one, I like first of all, I enjoy the return of the blaster bolts
Yes, Blaster Bolt.
situation. I literally was like writing a bullet point list of all the bad things that was happening to Kai
Oh
throughout.
gosh. I will reference that the planet we did not get to see, and I kind of wish there's an episode where we get to see Liz and Nubs go on their field trip, is the planet to sell, and I just really like the name, so I felt like we should mention it.
Yes, the lava fields of Planet to Sell, and I was like, "Oh, that sounds like such a cool field trip."
Liz is finding like a fire salamander there. That's what
Yeah,
she's doing, and
something.
we need that episode.
Yeah, I do enjoy the little moment that like Liz and Nubs had where Liz was clearly lying to make Kai feel better and
And
Nubs
then
called her
Nubs is
on it.
just so excited that he can't even like be like, he's
He
like,
can't even
oh.
pretend. I love Nubs more and more. Um I will say so Kai overslept and is getting
You're welcome.
rewarded for it by going on a special mission to Tatooine.
Tatooine.
And like I know very few things in Star Wars, but I was just like I felt like that like the Instagram meme where it's like Matthew McConaughey that's like woo woo or no, it's like Leonardo DiCaprio and you're like I know that.
Yes.
Um
And I
but
appreciate that Kai totally pronounces it wrong.
does he? I didn't even pay attention
Yeah,
to
he
that. How
says it.
does it?
He's like tattoo. He like I can't remember how he says it, but then Masters I like we're correcting. He's like she said it. He goes he like says it, and then she responds back with Tatooine.
Yeah. I will say it was really funny when they were flying in. I literally was like, "Oh my God, there really is just so much sand everywhere on every
I
part of this
appreciated
planet."
I wrote down the quote. Lots of sand. 'Cause you know how we hate sand in the Star Wars universe,
Yes. So much
and that is
sand.
a boring desert planet.
Yes. For a boring desert planet, a lot happened. I will say, knowing that Kai was having a bad day and incident after incident after incident, the worst thing Nash could have done was been like, "Hey, please fly the ship. It's definitely a good idea."
Also, waiting until they're already like through and like she tells him to do something, we're like, girl, you needed to push out, you need to show him what button. You can't just assume.
And she waited too long to like push him
You
out.
should have switched right when they saw a sandstorm.
And you're like, how do you accidentally push the button that like jettisons your cargo?
Yes, because this cargo is being delivered to our new friend
Michael Zala.
Michael Zala. I was struggling because it sounded like Michael, but there's
Oh, because of the
isn't an
Michael
O.
Zala.
Michael
Yeah, I
Zala.
had to look. I honestly looked at the subtitles to figure out how they were spelling
That's
it.
why I have subtitles up. But
Yeah,
we do get some kid-sized Jawas.
the Jawas are so adorable. Did you notice though in the subtitles when the Jawas were talking, it was speaking Jawa'ese?
Yes.
That was hilarious.
Because they
Um,
kidnapped RJ.
well, did they I don't consider it kidnapping because Kai was very unclear. To me, it seemed like they were very
I
appropriately
knew they were
making a
trading.
swap. They were like
Yeah.
this for that. Um, but and that's where I just laugh because I'm like they start running after the ship and I'm like, "Do you forget you have speeders?" And then in the next second they're like, "Oh, we have a speeder."
Yes.
And I'm like, "Oh, guys."
Good. Our little Jedi friends.
Yeah. But then at the end, I was like, this thing flew out of the ship in a
Michael
sandstorm.
Zala, Michael Zala, Michael Zala.
That was pretty funny.
And I love Nash's just do it. Like just join
just
in.
just join in. It's fine. But that was funny. I really did enjoy that one, especially since it was mostly about Kai. Did you write the lesson? Because I do have the lesson. Don't focus on the bad. Focus on something good, which they really knocked down our throats this
Yeah.
episode.
Well, it was instead of focusing on what's bad, focus on something that will cheer you up, something that's good.
I know I was just like, oh,
Now let me
push your glasses up.
now they're like too high. I'm like, oh, they don't go that high.
I kind of hope that like we go back to Tatooine because like I don't know if Jawas because like they had no ideas what a Jawa was. Also, they couldn't understand it, which I thought was hilarious because I was like, so do they speak Poobian but not Jawaese? Like, where is the line
Well, but
here?
they hang out with a Poobian. They don't hang out with a Jawa.
That's true.
So like that's a different like if you were around a friend that spoke Spanish, you would pick up on Spanish.
That's
But you're
true.
not around someone who speaks German, so you're not going to just randomly know German because I was a little surprised like that RJ.
Yeah, I feel like RJ was confused by it too. Like, though maybe RJ doesn't have
Yeah, RJ's also like he might not
it's a
have all the
personal
languages
droid.
in yeah.
Yeah.
And Jawa is not an easy language and I think that's very specific to like Tatooine area, so
Yeah. So it's probably, makes sense. Makes sense. I did enjoy in the next episode, Visitor Day,
mhm.
that they had. I don't know if you noticed the people in the background, but like the townsfolk from the Gargantua episode, like they had so many like people from past episodes just like
We see our
milling
background
around.
actors are like pretty much the same. Um, but it makes sense because they're in their community. It's taking
Yeah.
like if it's on a different planet, I'd be like, but they're in their community, so they're in Kublop, so we're good. Our lovely friend who we love, Marla,
My God, made a
I
sculpture.
saw her.
I like how she
She
was
said she didn't do the sculpture.
she said she assembled it. So like
Okay.
it was a really weird way of like being
Because like
like,
when they
no,
asked her, she's like, "Oh, I'm not the artist." Maybe she doesn't believe she's an artist.
I think because like the way she said it was like she's like assembled all the pieces together.
I was
So
hoping
then
we would see our junk giant, but
I know, like why is it in the thing? Why can't the junk giant be like guarding it? I don't know.
because then
But
it
we did
can't
get
be stolen by Draven Bosch.
that was a sick name. I will say he had two droids,
Hmm.
one of which had also no name. We
So
never got a name.
I have his name, but the only reason I have his name was when I was jotting down when these were released from the episodes, I saw his name in there. So his name is, so I'm wondering if he comes back, if he has a name, because this episode did not mention a name, and the subtitles didn't, where the subtitles did
Yeah.
mention the other's name. So the droid of no name, which is the humanoid one, not the R2 unit, is K2P1.
Oh. So maybe they just like because they don't mention in the episode because I feel like sometimes they don't like the RE droid, they didn't mention like its droid number, but like in the information I found it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then the other droid is R413.
R4. He's a R4, not an R2 unit. Sorry, he was an R4.
Close though.
Yes.
Close. But yeah, I this was Liz's episode from I feel like start
Oh,
to
this was
finish. This
Liz's
was
episode.
so good. Also, the only critical thinker of the group, apparently.
Mhm.
Um,
And Liz learns a lesson here. It's not just that she's a critical thinker. There's a lesson here for her to learn.
oh wait, everybody needs help sometimes, is a lesson I got.
And that asking for help, you need to do it. And it wasn't worded
Yeah,
that way, but that's how I'm going with it.
yeah, no. I will say there were so many call outs in this episode too. Because they were talking about the Royal Alderaan crystal vase. And I
Hmm.
was just like, cool, cool, cool. And then, like, as they're fighting, I was laughing because this is another instance where they have forgotten that they have lightsabers.
Yeah.
Like, guys, don't be so scared. You have a lightsaber. You can use it. But it was kind of fun to see them try and like stall
Yes.
by flattering and like playing
They
to
had a
his
plan. They
ego.
went in there with a plan to
Yeah.
solve. Also, I would like to, when Master Zia did the door thing, it was like, oh, we're at Galaxy's Edge. Oh, where they do the door. Have you not ridden Rise of the Resistance yet?
I have, but I only wrote it
Well,
once
it's
after.
before the ride. It's when you're standing in the room and they're breaking you out. The door like outline
Oh
comes
yeah.
open, and that's what it reminded me of.
I wrote it once a long time ago after waiting in line for like 3 hours. So,
Next time we're getting you, and we're gonna do a full episode on our experiences at Galaxy's Edge. We might even record at
yes,
Galaxy's Edge.
we really
Maybe,
should.
maybe
We
Kylo Ren
really
will join
should.
us.
I can only hope.
We will specifically set up in an area that they can come photo bomb us. All right, let's move on because I'm
Oh
excited
yes.
for the next
Oh my
episode.
God.
The
The next
growing green
episode,
danger.
I wrote it in such big letters. I was just like, this is a Nubs episode.
Nope's got an episode.
We finally got a Nubs episode. I was just like freaking out. I was like, oh my God, they're doing plants. They're doing plants. This is
They're on the
Nubs,
planet Lang Shurong.
which was cool. I like that they're going to like other planets as like workshops to like
Mm-hmm.
learn about other
With
things. It's like,
Mrs.
oh,
Varric.
yeah. Um, and it was cute to see her like teach Nubs that you have to like really pay attention. I think that was the lesson technically. Take your time, observe, and learn what your environment is telling you.
Well, you added a lot more words for the kids, but learn what you
Yes.
need.
Learn what you need. But I was laughing with the Grumblevine. I was like, oh, look at this weird happenstance. A seed has made its way to Tanu. Who would have thunk?
Who would have
But
thunk?
I did like to
Mm,
see the planters they set up. I was like, ooh, what a garden
oh
setup,
yeah, beautiful
guys, with
garden. Mm,
misters.
Nubs is starting to gain some language.
Yes, he is using like almost English.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of dig it, but like I think they're doing it to like in a space to like get
Because
us
we're all
to
demanding more nubs. Nubs,
yes.
nubs, nubs.
Snopes. No, I did enjoy the call out that they use a training lightsaber that doesn't actually do a lot of damage. So it's like
Yeah.
more of a call out to like why they're using them and they're not actually hurting people against the plant. And they were just like, it will push it back but not hurt it. So I was like, oh, so does that mean like if anybody gets hit by that lightsaber, it actually doesn't hurt?
I feel like it was being pushed back because of the light of it and not necessarily because it was a
Oh
weapon.
yeah.
I
Maybe
don't
that's
think
true.
because they never like actually hit it. I think it was in response to it. I
Oh,
do have a question.
sure. What's up?
Is Nubs losing his super strength? Because they made this point in the beginning about his super strength, and now in the episode where it would be like perfect to like showcase it, even if it didn't like he didn't have enough strength, he got whipped up just like Kai and Liz.
Well, I mean, he got whipped up, but I think he was like crawling for a bit, like really trying to
Mhm.
anchor. So,
Yeah.
like, that's where I was thinking that maybe his strength played in, like he's strong, but it's still pulling him.
Yeah, but I needed it to be a little more obvious because he still was like on the same level as Kai and Liz.
I feel like they just forget that he has super strength when they
Yeah.
need it, unless they need it. And like when they do it, it's like it's
Well,
very
but
much
he
like
hasn't like used it really, except for that one time.
the junkyard was the last time I feel like he used
Yeah.
it. That was a while back. Um, but yeah, I was laughing when he's like, oh, and Nubs is also a critical thinker, let's say, in this episode. That was his moment.
Hmm.
He figured it out, he stepped up. I like the moment where they were like, we're gonna empty out the temple. You take care of this, Nubs. And like he like was like scared to do it by
Yeah, they had to be like,
himself.
you know what you're doing. You got this.
Like you got
I
it.
I love a supportive friend. I'm all
Yeah.
about supporting friends.
So
So
it was really good. And what I do love is like when he had the idea and like how to fix it. Did you notice he had this like very like hero wind blowing through his fur? Like he was like, yes.
I
It
got
was hilarious. And then the like pan out where they were like, oh, we have to explain this to Master Sia. And I was like, what a mess the temple has become. Like it was a huge mess.
big.
And I do want
Poor
to call
D
out
had to clean all that up.
Dee had such sass in this episode where Dee was like so nervous, like I am not, like my coding does not include how to do this.
This was
And it was
not in
just
my job
funny.
description.
This was
Why is it always you three?
I did think it was funny. My favorite, I was just like watching it, and it was just like the moment where they came into the temple and the two other younglings that we usually see um were in there and they're like, what's going on? And Kai's like,
I want these other younglings' names. The one that looks kind of Frankenstein-esque.
yes, the Frankenstein one, and then the girl that has the like balls on her head. Is her hair like in a circular?
I
I
don't
have to look
remember her
again.
as much. I'll pay attention next time.
Yeah, because the two of them are usually together.
Yeah.
Uh,
I just want them to have names.
just like names. I don't know. And
We should
more
we need to
lines
start
every now and then.
the background young Jedi comic book strips of life as a background.
It's like life as a background character in Young Jedi Adventures. Oh,
Mhm.
great. Kai has done it again.
There goes my lunch. It's being stacked by a droid. I really wanted that lunch. That's my favorite. It's Taco Tuesday, and Kai had to mess it up.
I'm dead.
He's
I'm
not even
dead.
the chosen one.
Seriously. He's got a lot of like attitude for someone who's not a chosen one. But yeah. So
Really like this episode. This set of
I liked
episodes.
this whole set of
This is the
episodes. I
strongest set we've had. Um,
I feel like since I think this is the strongest set we've
yeah,
had.
I was trying to think if there's a character that is like owed an episode now, and I think they've all kind of like evenly had a strong episode.
Yeah, I think they have. I mean, I was just so happy that Nubs got one and it was such a good one.
It was. And it was to play to
Um,
his strengths of plants.
yes. I will say I was kind of disappointed in the droid showing for this
Hmm.
four set. Like we got a lot of RJ in the Tatooine episode, but it wasn't like RJ doing anything. It was RJ just like panicking.
No, I would
Oh,
panic too if I was kidnapped by a Jawa.
they were not kidnapped, okay? It was Kai's fault. He did not properly understand a trade.
You did. Yeah, we didn't even have a lot of good creatures either.
That's why I was gonna say outside of Jawas, I don't know that we got
Jawas aren't creatures. Jawas
that
are,
are beings.
yes.
So then we didn't get any creatures.
No.
But we did get to go to Tatooine.
We haven't seen Yoda in a while, so I'm wondering if he will make an appearance.
Hopefully soon. I feel like he does every like
I feel
actually,
like they are doing really well with not bringing him too much.
yeah.
I don't think they could I think there is a line you have to draw of bringing in characters we know. So I think they are doing really well with drawing that line and not making Yoda like a central figure of the series.
Yeah, and I like that they're like looking to Master Zia as like more and
Yes.
more often in the episodes as opposed to like
They're
someone who's just
growing.
there. Yeah.
Yes.
So, and you see more of like her ability.
So it's slightly a spoiler, but in the imagery for season 2, there is a
Oh, yeah.
teenage looking kid.
There is a person. I know I've been avoiding it because I'm like, I don't know who that
I
is.
only know the image, and that was like, okay, don't read ahead on the descriptions.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling our teenager doesn't come in until season 2.
No, I don't think he does. Um, but yeah, so I am excited. I wonder. I'm excited to see how this goes. We're what, 10 episodes in? There's still
Mhm.
15 left in this
Yes.
season. So we have a lot of
We have
time
a
to
lot of lessons to
travel.
learn.
So many lessons.
So many lessons.
Yes.
I would like some new
Um,
planets because we've heard mention of some planets now, but they're like traveling to those planets, then make a pit stop, and then we don't know what planet they're on.
yeah, I actually would love to see more about like Tabor's background.
Oh, that's who we haven't had. We haven't had a Tabor episode.
We have like glimpses of like how Tabor lives with the pirates and they don't take him seriously and like, but like we don't really have a lot of background on Tabor. So I would be interested in kind of seeing that
Yes,
soon.
I
But
agree.
yeah.
I feel like it's needed. It has to be coming within the next few episodes because I feel like it's needed. Where can we find you on the socials?
Yes. So on Instagram and TikTok, I am at Mercurial Conjurer. Um, Danny, where are you?
Mandrakes and Mischief. And as always, you can find the podcast at Not the Droids Pod on all the things. And remember, we're not the droids you're looking for.
But we're the droids you're gonna get.